Hello, viewers. Welcome to Football Discussion Daily. I'm your host, CGO. Please endeavor to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and other social media platforms. Thank you very much for that. On the show, we'll be looking at games. That is round of 32 games at the ongoing 2026 FIFA World Cup that will be played on Monday, June 29th, 2026. And the fixtures as follows. Brazil will be playing against Japan at 1 p.m. Eastern Time at the Houston Stadium. Then Germany, four-time winners of the World Cup, will be playing against South American team Paraguay. The time for that game will be 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The game will be played at the Boston Stadium. And then the third game is going to be the game between Netherlands and Morocco. The time for that game is going to be 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The game will be played at the Monterrey Stadium in Monterrey in Mexico. So those are the three games that are scheduled to be played on Monday, June 29, 2026. I'm sure those games are going to be very interesting to watch. I'm sure a lot of people are really looking forward to it. The game against Brazil, against Japan, definitely the Brazilians are favorite to win this game. When you look at the pedigree of the Brazilians, and in the group stage, the Brazilians started very poorly when they played against Morocco in their first game. In fact, they conceded first before they got an equalizer through Vinicius Junior's brilliance. And then in the second game, there was improvement when they played against Haiti, and they were able to win by 3-0 in that encounter. And then when they played against the Scottish in their last game, they also won 3-0. So it seems the Brazilians are beginning to find their rhythm after their poor performance in their first game. And I'm sure a lot of confidence is back to the team, and they'll be looking forward to defeating Japan in this round of 32 game. Again, if you look at the Japanese team, they have been a very difficult team to play against. In their opening game against the Orange, the Dutch, they played a 2-2 draw against the Dutch team. It wasn't easy for the Dutch in that particular encounter. And then when they played against Tunisia, they won 4-0, a convincing victory. And then their last game, last group game was against Sweden, and the game ended in a 1-1 draw. So the Japanese are also unbeaten in this competition, just like the Brazilians. So it's not a team that is easy to play against. And then when you look at the head-to-head between Brazil and Japan, I think they've played on 14 occasions. And out of the 14 times they've met, the Brazilians have won 11 of those fixtures. Then the Japanese only got one victory. And the victory they got was in the recent, I think it was in the recent time, both teams played a friendly, I think that was October 2025. That friendly was played at Tokyo. And in fact, they were trailing by 2-0, and then they came back and they turned things around in the second half, winning by 3-2. So that's the only victory the Japanese have ever gotten against the Brazilians. I'm sure that might be like a motivation for them. They will be hoping that they'll be able to replicate the same thing against the Brazilians at the World Cup. The only time both teams played at the World Cup was in 2006 World Cup. That was when both sides played against each other. And in that encounter, the Brazilians defeated the Japanese 4-1. The game was played in Dortmund. When it comes to the World Cup, they've only met once, and the Brazilians were the ones who carried the day. I'm sure the Brazilians will be hoping that they can replicate the same thing as both sides confront each other in the round of 32. It's going to be very interesting game. The Japanese will be playing the tactical formation of 3-4-2, and most times you look at the way the Japanese play, they like using their wing backs when they play their game. So we'll likely see the same thing when they play the Brazilians in the round of 32. The Brazilians will be playing a tactical formation of 4-3-3, and the Brazilians will be missing the services of Rafinha in this encounter because he has been sidelined as a result of a thigh injury. But they have a very good player in Ryan who plays for Bournemouth, who will be playing from the white ring for the Brazilians. So, and also there's that possibility we might see Neymar maybe coming from the bench to play for the Brazilian, because in their last group game he came on as a substitute. I think that was against Scotland. So we might see him coming in as a substitute in this game. And Neymar has scored about 9 times against the Japanese. He has scored 9 goals against the Japanese. So he has a very good record when it comes to playing against the Japanese. And then the predicted lineup for the game between Brazil and Japan. For the Brazilians, they are going to play 4-3-3, and then in goal we should have Alisson Becker in goal, and then the 4 defenders we have in the Brazilian team should be Danilo playing the right back. Then the center backs will be Marquinhos and Gabriel, and then left back should be Douglas Santos. And then they will have um, Casimiro and Bruno Guimaraes uh, playing as the double pivot. And then we'll have Lucas Paqueta playing as the number 10. The right wing, Ryan should be playing that because Rafinha is not available. And then from the left wing, we should have Vinicius Jr., who is on 4 goals at this tournament. And then center forward, most likely see Matheus Cunha playing as the number 9. He has 3 goals already registered to his name in this competition. For the Japanese, they will be playing a tactical formation of 3-4-2-1. The goalkeeper should be Zion Suzuki. He has been very, very outstanding in this competition. Their 3 center backs should be Takehiro Tamiyasu. Then we should have Shogo Taniguchi playing in that role. And then we should have Hiroki Ito playing as the center backs. Now for the right wing back, we should have Ritsu Doan. Then the central midfield, we should have Kaishu Sano and then Hayo Tanaka playing in that position. The left wing back should be Kaito Nakamura, and the person that will be playing as the AM for this game should be Dyson Maeda and Daichi Kamanda. The center forward will be Ayase Oheda, very fantastic striker. He will be the one to lead the line for the Japanese. It's going to be a very interesting game. There's no doubt that the Brazilians are the favorite, but the Japanese, they have what it takes to spring a surprise in this encounter. We'll wait to see what happens in that particular encounter. And then for the game between Germany and Paraguay, Germany, I think they've met Paraguay, I think once at the World Cup, and that was in June 15 of 2002. That was Korea Japan when they played against Paraguay in the round of 16. They defeated Paraguay 1-0 in that encounter, courtesy of a goal by Oliver Norville in that particular encounter. So they've only met just once, and the Germans are the ones who carry the day. In this competition, I think the Germans I think they won 2 games in the group stage and lost one. And the only team they lost to was a South American team, Ecuador. Looking at the pedigree of both sides, definitely the Germans are favored to win this game. They won 2 games, lost only one in the group stage. For Paraguay, lost their first game to the United States 4-1. In their second game, they were able to get the 1-0 victory against Turkey. And then their last game against the Australians, it ended in a goalless draw. So what that tells you is that when attacking wise, the Paraguayans are not too spectacular. Apart from their first game against the US, where they conceded 4, their last 2 games were very good defensively, very difficult to break them down. We saw that against Turkey, in their game against Turkey. And then even when they got a red card in that game, they were able to defend very well. And in their game against Australia, they defended so well as well. So they normally play a block and try to get you on a counter attack. That is the way a team is structured. That's the way they approach their game. And in this game against the Germans, that is the same approach they are going to come with. They are going to play a compact low block against the Germans. The Germans will most likely have more. They will have more possession of the ball. The Paraguay team will play low block in order to prevent the Germans from having much space to create scoring opportunities against them. So that is the kind of setup we're likely to see in this game between the Germans and the Paraguayan team. The Paraguay will be missing the presence of, they'll be missing Diego Gomez because he's having suspension. So it's one player they are going to miss going to this particular encounter. So looking at the game, I think it's not going to be an easy one because when you play a team that plays so defensively, play low block in an organized form, it's a bit difficult to break them down. So, but looking at both sides, I think the Germans have an edge because Germans are good when it comes to scoring. Whereas for the Paraguay team, defensively, they are very good. On the German side, their defense sometimes is a bit cheap. So they need to really work on that because if you play against a Paraguay team and they're able to get you on a counter and they're able to get a goal, they might defend and it might be difficult for you to come back into the game. So Germans have to watch it. Germans are favourite to win this game, but shouldn't write off the Paraguayans going into this particular encounter. And then the game between Morocco and then Netherlands, that's going to be a very explosive game. That's a game that I'm sure a lot of people will be looking forward to. It's not going to be an easy one because both sides have been very good in this competition. In fact, in the group stage of this of the World Cup, the Moroccans finished with 7 points, even though they finished second because the Brazilian had a more superior goal difference over the Moroccans. Netherlands also finished 7 points in their group. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game. When you look at the pedigree of both sides, well, the Dutch are favourite to win, but this Moroccan team is not a team you should ever take for granted. They've been, we saw the way they played the Brazilians. They are not scared to to come out and play. And defensively, they look good. I think defensively they are better than the defense of the Dutch team. If we analyze it critically, the Dutch will be playing a tactical formation of 4-3-3. For Morocco, Morocco will be playing a tactical formation of 4-2-3-1. And the predicted lineup for this encounter for the Dutch team. In goal, we should have Bart Verbruggen in goal. The back four For the Dutch, we should have Denzel Dumfries, Virgil van Dijk, Jan Paul van Hecke, and then Mickey van der Ven. They'll be playing. That will be the back four of the Dutch. And then in the midfield, we should have Ryan Gravenberg, Frankie de Jong, and Tijani Reinders. Then the three guys that will be playing the attack, we should have Donya Malen, Brian Bromby, and Cody Gakpo. That is what the predicted lineup for the Dutch team going into this game. And then for the Moroccans, they play a tactical formation of 4-2-3-1. In goal, we should have Yasin Bono. And then the back four, we should have Ashraf, Hakimi. We should have Issa Diop, and then Chadi Rayad, and Mazarawi in the defense. And then their double pivot, we should have Neil El Ayenawi, and then Ayob Buadi. Ayob Buadi uh, has been very good in this competition. A young lad who has really shown how good he is uh, when it comes to playing in the midfield. And then the attacking midfielders, we should have Brian Diaz, we should have Azadine Onahi, and then we should have Bilal El Kanous. And then yeah, center forward is going to be Ismail Saibari. Remember, he has scored 3 goals so far in this competition. He's one striker who has shown a great quality uh, in this competition. The Dutch have to really watch out for him. And also Brian Diaz. Brian Diaz has also been very good, especially when it comes to utilizing pocket of spaces against the opponent. He has given, I think, 2 assists at this World Cup. So this team, the Moroccan team, is a team you can never underestimate. I think they're going to give the Dutch team a very good run for their money in this particular encounter. For a team that got to the semi-finals of the last World Cup, that is not a team one should underestimate. Based on pedigree, the Dutch are favourite to win, but the Moroccans, they have a way of springing surprise. So we'll wait to see what happens in that encounter between the Dutch and the Moroccans. Let us know what you think regarding these 3 games that will be played on Monday, June 29, 2026. Thank you very much for watching, and do have a wonderful time. Bye for now.